different countries to seek refugee. That's correct English, right?
Yes, refugee. Yeah, refugee. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you bring millions of them, that's 0.0.0.01 is a bad individual. Now you bring them to a country with a different mindset. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So I'm not telling them it's them. That would be a stupid thing to say. But if you bring a lot of male people into Europe, I see it changing when I'm working the doors. I stop them and they show me this card. They get this blue card here, you know, it's their temporary ID, let's say like this. And I refused this guy, and you have to think about me working the doors as a bouncer, and then he walked away because he gave me a gut feeling. My instinct kicked in, and you have to understand your instinct is nothing spectacular. It's just your subconscious brain seeing pre-taught cues that you don't understand on a cognitive level yet. So I always listen to my instinct. So I block him, and then 5 minutes later, police arrest him. He has this big of a butcher knife in his belt.
There you go.
Yeah, and then I'm like, what is that for a mindset? You're going out to a bar. You want to go for the ladies or for the boys, but that doesn't matter what you like. But why you bring that butcher knife, you fucking idiot?
Yeah.
So that's what I mean with that. You make sense? So the threat's real. The threat's real. It becomes worse. Because recently, I was working in this bad part of Amsterdam, and two of my girls that fall under my responsibility, my students, let's say, because this is like an international school, 250 students are my responsibility. And what I see happening outside is a scooter with two guys are following the girls, and they ran in panic, and then the guys put the girls against the glass and they talk profanity to them. They want something from them. It's literally head to head. And I had to intervene, so I get the girls inside of the establishment, and then the two guys start with me. And I really try to de-escalate the situation, and I really try to diffuse it, and you see that also, because it's perfectly on camera. So nowadays, when I teach a seminar, I first teach them all the stuff that I use, and then I show in the end that video clip from my work life. So now they can see, not to show that I'm cool, but that they understand
even context.
They understand contact management, that they understand how I line them up, and also understand that I was attacking first at one point. So I eliminate them both. And I did what I had to do. Was it reasonable and necessary? Now, a lot of people, when they see our training, they see the level 10 response, because I need to train the level 10 response. For example, when I teach you to hit first, I would do it out of an act of sheer desperation. If I can avoid and escape and de-escalate, I would. If I can use verbal judo, I would. If I can use a push and posturing, I would. But in that case, I could not de-escalate. So as soon as I started with the physical stuff, because they were threatening with the gun also, one of them said, get the gun, get the gun. So I knock out one, and I directly attack the other one. So I knock him also out. And then in the video, I recognized later, not in the heat of the moment, because I was hitting one and I attacked the other one. So it was clinical. And then afterwards, when I rewatched the video, I saw him also attacking me. He was about to punch me. So that was my training, because I understood when I have to attack first, I now need to continue to attack. And that was purely my training. And then afterwards I saw, shit, that saved actually my life, because this guy was also hitting me in the head.
Right.
There was an exchange. I only was faster than him. So that says that we always train for the level 10 threat, but it doesn't mean you fight every fight like that, you know? Because I need to train for the level 10, because level 10 threat is somebody offering me lethal force or grievously bodily harm or death. Make sense?
Yep.
If I think about that, because these guys were two of them, and there was a weapon involved. I never saw the weapon. In the end, there was no weapon, but they were threatening, get the gun, get the gun. So how do I know? Because the gun was probably in the scooter, right? Because they were in the scooter. So how is your BJJ or your martial art fitting into that context? That's my point. Makes sense? Was it reasonable and necessary what I did? Yes, because I had witnesses that could say that they were threatening with the gun, etc. So police investigation, all bullshit. But now they dropped the case because they saw it was reasonable and necessary. Right?
Thing is, it's like, correct me if I'm wrong, this verbal judo thing works if you are in a calm state of mind, right? I'm thinking, because it's just like an argument that happens in the workplace, right? Like I could recall a ton of arguments I've had with my colleagues, but I'm a generally chill kind of guy, and the person that I was 20 years ago, I would fly off the handle. I want to raise my voice, just beat the other person verbally. And, and it's just like, pop, 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 pop. And there's no solution to that. Right. So now I'm calmer. And sometimes I'll just say something like, look, I noticed you're getting heated. Let's revisit this another time, man. All right. I'll talk to you later. And I'll walk away, type of thing. Right. But if I was heated, I don't think I can use verbal judo. So my question to you is like you're fully aware of it, right? But how do you teach it so that people don't get their emotions involved when they're using this?
Yeah, that's a good point, because that is actually the trick. Because I do one quick referral back to the video of the guys that
please,
I eliminate them, right? That I knocked them out 5 years ago. Because in this context of the story, they step off the scooter because I was talking to them. I told them to leave. One is directly kicking me. So I push him and give him a kick on the ass and I say, keep distance. And then they keep on coming. So then I try to de-escalate for 2 solid minutes. The fact that I did that, I try the best of my heart to de-escalate with words only. 5 years ago, I directly knocked him out as soon as they attacked me. Boom, boom. But now the challenge for me, because I get older now, and I also strongly believe you need to practice what you preach. That's why I need to try to de-escalate the situation. Some people you cannot de-escalate. So to go back to that, yes, you need cognitive thinking for communication. If you so under the adrenaline effects, and one of the things is that your heart rate goes up, and when heart rate goes up, your cognitive thinking shuts down. So your limbic system, your emotion and your instinct take over. It's difficult to communicate. You become what we call monosyllabic. You know this probably from Jeff Thompson.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to make complete sentences. So you can use breathing for that to keep the heart rate low. But at one point, the talking is done. And that's where, in my honest belief, your training comes into play. And not only hitting the pads, but also in my training, I'm constantly thinking predatory. I'm only busy with what I'm going to do with you. So if you come across and you come forward, I keep my hands up. I try to de-escalate, but I already say to myself, don't make me hit you. You don't want to get hit by this. And of course, that's rehearsal. And that's also in my position, because I think 1.90 meters. I don't know exactly how it is in your measurement system, but the fact is I'm not your average human being, I guess. So people will say like, yeah, but you're a big guy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but understand that people that fuck with me, they are prepared for that. So if they see me as a prey, and it still happens, people under the influence of drugs, or more than one, or maybe they have a weapon in the pocket, they don't care about my size. They don't care about me. Some people, some cultures don't give a fuck how big you are. They overrule their fear with their aggression. And if I do the same, I will only do it to show them that I am a crazy animal, to prevent violence. In all other cases, I try to be sinister and want to use the element of surprise. And you can only do that by thinking like a predator in training and doing over and over again. So it becomes part of you. So actually, when I'm de-escalating, I am literally, I want you to cross the line. Because I'm so sick and tired of your bullshit that I want to knock you out. But on the other hand, I don't want to knock you out because I know it's bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's the voice in me. There's a little dark voice in me that says like, okay, now it's done. And now I make you go. So for me, there's never, I never doubt my ability. I'm always busy with how can I de-escalate this guy, but don't make me do it now. Don't make me hit you, So that is me. Of course, when I have a smaller girl and she cannot avoid an escape and she's now in an altercation, I need to show her the element of surprise, but also to switch on that aggression, to state manage that fight stress. You can only be in one emotional state at a time. That's why we do everything with aggression. But to communicate in this dynamic and to talk the situation down, how difficult is that? I recently had a girl coming into my class, right?
Yeah.
Athletic girl, really, I think the age of 20, Asian girl, very athletic, almost pro tenniser. And she showed that she had a problem. She had one of her therapists dealing with her emotional problems, but that guy went overboard. So he, after weeks of winning her trust, he took her for a massage and then he crossed the line. Her brain shut off. her cognitive thinking was not there anymore, and the emotions took over. She even thanked him afterwards, like, thank you, blah, blah, blah. And then afterwards, when she was sitting home, her cognitive thinking came back, and then she said to herself, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
He crossed the line there way too much, you know? And she was talking to me about that. And I explained her how the brain works. The brain does only that is best for you, right? If you don't install something on that cognitive part, or in the brain, I have to say, your brain is scanning for the safest thing to do. And if there's nothing installed in a good way, like a reaction, a good training with emotional connection behind it, then your brain says, wait a minute, don't do anything. Don't do anything. So it's just scanning, and that's the freeze what we talk about, right?
Yeah.
But to show you in this dynamic, it's very difficult to de-escalate or diffuse a situation like this, because she was so shocked that she never saw this coming. And the guy, that it was clearly a predator, did it in a very subtle way. He won her trust, and then blah, blah, blah. You know, and that's probably where Richard Dimitri's stuff comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if I talk to her, I see a lot of lack of assertion, and she should use the voice in a different way, in a body language profile, so she can see the pre-threat cues coming beforehand. Makes sense? So she was a little naive, to say, not to give her the blame, but there's a lot of stuff I can teach her to prevent in the future. Makes sense?
Yeah, but so the thing that this is exactly what I wanted to ask you. Like, so how would you train her to switch and the dialogue piece? Because naturally her personality is very quiet and, you know, polite. And like, how do you switch that, man?
I said she was Asian, and it's coincidental you're Asian too. So
yeah.
There are two in my book. If I look at Asian people, they have two emotional states: always very kind, or extremely violent.
Yeah.
There's nothing in between.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to generalize, but because they're always so polite and always say yes while they mean no. I mean.
Yeah.
So how would I do with her? First of all, I need to make her see how important she is, that people need her in this life, and that she is worth fighting for, right? Without this, self-defense or self-protection or combative training is not there. You know, you need to be willing to protect yourself, but also to understand her that you cannot stay in denial. If there's a problem, deal with the problem, you know, and also put your boundaries out. And that's where, for example, if you look at a physical skill set like defense from Jeff Thompson, that keeping your hands up, that is my boundary now. Right. But before that, is way before that. If I look at my door work, I use assertion a lot, and I point out what I see and I tell. So if, for example, in the case of that girl with her therapist, to say like this, fake ass therapist, she could recognize his maybe a sleazy comment and then directly tell him, like, listen, I don't like this. This is the first and the last time. For example, if I could teach her this, it's already a big improvement that she can point out. She will say, and that she's not comfortable with that. Makes sense? Yeah, so now the guy knows his boundaries, but that's easier said than done. That's difficult, right? So often I just need to take a person and just have to rewire her. How do you say no? How do you? But first it starts with, can you see it? The signals. So in the case of her, I told her, listen, all guys have a dirty mind. Remember this. She says, all? I'm like, all, except your father or your brother. Yes. But they still have a dirty mind if they look at somebody else. You know what I mean? So only that part was already for her shocking. And then I also be honest, I said, even me think like that. Like, really? Like, yes, it is like this. Doesn't mean that every guy is a sleazy asshole that will rape you. No, it means like, be aware of that. Be aware how you present yourself, and be aware that a lot of predatory people that prey on the weak or on the vulnerable, I have to say. You know? Yeah. That's a complete, but it starts with your self-worth. Do you understand that people need you? If you don't protect yourself because you have all excuses not to do it, maybe you don't want to be a bitch or an asshole, or maybe you don't want to do it because you're scared, you know, and now you end up on the victim side, and now you maybe go to hospital or worse. How would your loved ones feel about this if you never come home, you know? So that starts with understanding their value. It starts with understanding, put out boundaries, but also at one point it's done with the boundaries, and now you need to fight with that sick aggression, but clinical aggression, to state manage that fear and fight stress you have. That's where aggression is designed for, right? I mean,
Yep.
take a lion or a lioness and with her little cubs and put her in the corner. See how she acts. She will
Yep.
go crazy.
Yep.
So if you could do this from the element of surprise, that would be great, right?
This is interesting. So I want to focus on that particular girl. So you teach her self-worth, you teach her value. She begins to, understand now that it's worth doing this. It's worth to explore this. How do you get her though to switch on? Like, do you have a bunch of drills that you do? Like before, let's just say, for example, you want to teach her to hit hard or surprise hit or whatever, and she's not used to hitting. So how do you get her? How do you bridge that gap and gradually escalate and dial it up?
Yeah, it starts first of all with good lecture on making her understand, and I think I can do that. The lecture part, I can reach the people. Sometimes when I teach seminars, I see that I reach the people, and then there's sometimes also emotion involved. People they really understand what I say, and I show them if you don't do anything, you only have one chance, and then if you're dead, you're dead. It's that simple. If you get raped, you're now raped. You will never become the same again, emotionally, physically, mentally. It's all fucked from there, right? So it starts with that, but then literally, because I have some people coming into my group training. For example, this girl, when she was first training, I just directly show her how to hit with aggression. I said, understand that you need this aggression, and I will talk about it later why, but understand it, to fake it until you make it. What you have to understand is you need to create a supra state that can deal with violence, and supra means above and preceding, right? It means like splitting your personality that is capable of certain things. So, for example, on splitting a personality that is capable of violence, how would he think? How would he act? How would he show himself? How would he present his body language profile? How would he use his voice in an assertive way, but also how would he use it in an aggressive way? How would he hit? Make sense? So if they fake it until you make it, and they do it over and over again in training, even if they just take a pat and just make the sound but don't feel the aggression yet.
Yeah.
And at one point you create neurological pathways in your brain.
Muscle memory. Yeah.
It's not muscle memory, because people often say this, and it's not to disrespect anything. Because you're totally right. It's motor memory, because muscle memory is from the gym. If you are a big guy and then you stop training and all of a sudden you train, whoop, the muscle memory comes back. But the motor memory is the reason, because the brain is driving it. So if you create this synapses, this electric current in your brain all the time, and I see it, if it happens over and over again, it's how do you call this in English? This if you take an electrical device, you get it out, you have the green plate with all the wire on it.
Yeah, the circuit board. Circuit board.
Yeah, sorry, the circuit board. So I just say this every time you have a circuit board, right? This is your neurological patterns in your brain that are used to how you are in daily life. A very nice human being, you try to be polite all the time. But every time in training, you create some kind of shortcut, but also some kind of literally shortcut circuit that gives this black burning inside of the circuit board. Make sense what I say?
Yeah.
So it becomes like an extra black route after next to your normal routine, your normal practice in the brain. And then if you do it more and more, this black now becomes a pathway. And now this pathway is easy to reach when you need it, right? So I will just break out of the normal circuit on the circuit board, and I will take the black route that I took because of the burning, because I burn it in there, in my training. Yeah. And then when I need it, I can see now that I created a new neurological pathway. It's the black path, but it's still a new circuit that I created. Make sense?
Yeah.
I try to, so it's literally use it in training. Not only hit a path, but do it with intention. Because if you look at the book from Bruce Siddle, Sharpening the Warrior Edge, what you need is, if you only train static, right? Also, if somebody attacks you, so we're talking about a reactive dynamic now. I want to feel and experience this hate that somebody's, for example, choking me with aggression. Now there's something happening in the brain. Your amygdala, or your amygdala, you have two of them, your tract detecting organ doesn't know if it's a simulated thing or it's a real thing. If I grab you and I give you role play, you will get tunnel vision, right?
Yep.
You do it over and over again. Now there's something stored in your brain that understands, wait a minute, this is the reaction on this attack. That only works if you do it with the right emotional attack, but also the right emotional response. So I will not do this. I will not choke somebody like this. I will choke somebody with the hate that I have. And somebody grabs me. I will not do only this. I will do that, the aggression. Now something is stored in a different part of your brain, because normally it works in a little short circuit. If you have your survival stress response, it first looks into the short-term memory. And if nothing is installed, it goes to long-term memory. And if something is installed there, it goes on short-term, and then it comes out of the reaction to an attack. Make sense?
Yeah.
You connect it with emotion and the right emotional response and intention behind it. Now it becomes something different. Now you install it in some part of the brain, like the little brain, like the cerebellum and the basal ganglia, right? Now it almost comes out automatically. You know, there's this patient in literature, the patient HM, Henry Moleson, and he was operated by this Dr. Scoville. And I think I talk about the 1953 or something. And they removed his hippocampus. And that's where a part of his hippocampus, right? And he only left with short-term memory. So all the long-term shit he was forgetting. But the emotional things behind everything, he found a way in his brain that there was, for example, he walked around the corner and there was every day there was somebody that made him giving him a scare, for example.
Yeah.
So let's say the guy walks the same route over and over again. He forgets it every day, right? And in that specific corner, he gets the shock of his lifetime. If you do it over and over again, his brain found a way to install, probably in the basal ganglia or the cerebellum of the brain, that shit, be careful, around that corner is danger now. But that's kind of weird because his long-term memory was not functioning anymore. So this is how they found out. Make sense?
Yeah.
Long story short, you want to create in training a suprastate, a split in your personality that can deal with violence, right? How is he thinking? How is he talking? How is he hitting the pad? So doing it over and over again becomes part of you until the point that you cannot do it wrong anymore.
Right.
Because if I train MMA, because I like to cross-train, I have to be careful that I don't show the same intention in crew class because they think I become...
You'll kill everybody.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
So, but that's why you want to go to. And also if you hit on the back, for example, hit and visualize first. Visualization is a very strong weapon, right? Really think about something that really makes you scared and really angry. Think about situations and now override that emotion with clinical aggression by hitting the back with aggression and reset. Hitting the gut with aggression and reset instead of 1,000 static repetitions. At least it's doing something for your how you say this, body mechanics, but it's not doing something on a mental level. So if you want to think about combatives, everything is driven by mindset and attitude, right? So the attitude part is that part.
No, that's an excellent answer, man.
A little long, but
no, it's that's an excellent answer. Like if I could summarize, the bottom line is, you know your self-worth, you know the fact that if a threat's gonna come your way, your self-worth is nothing now. It's worth fighting for, and therefore you have to basically learn it. It's a new behavior. But correct me if I'm wrong, you've been doing this for a long time. I think we all have that tapped into us somewhere. It's just a matter of just accessing it, because as human beings, we've survived, man. We had to kill things to survive. We have it in us, man. So it's guys like you that are doing an amazing service. Yeah, let's get down to your job. So you're an international instructor. You develop products and stuff like that, workshops and things. But your doorman job, is that a big part of your job too?
Yeah, I'm still doing this. At the moment, I'm doing this 1 week security, done 1 week of teaching, 1 week security, 1 week teaching.
Okay, so 1 week on, 1 week off, and things. I have friends that used to do this kind of thing, and like I said, a lot of my clients and my good friends are police officers, and their job is relatively dangerous. They get death threats all the time. They put bad guys away, and bad guys come after them and stuff. So my question to you is like, what's the risks of your job?
Yeah, I mean, getting stabbed, getting shot, getting shot, sorry. Death threats is normal. What I do or did actually, because at the moment I'm not doing it that much anymore because I'm simply too busy teaching. We did a lot of free festivals in the Netherlands. We have a really festival culture, right?
Yeah.
And then if somebody pays 70 euros for a card or $1, then and they use drugs, that's all good. They want to be there. They are there for a specific DJ, specific music genre, and they party all night. But we did the free festivals where all the young people come and they try to get fights there, and they drink alcohol, so it's alcohol-induced aggression. And then we had a lot of motorcycle gangs. The spin-off of the gangs are the youth, right? The young kids from the age of 17, 18 till up till 26 maybe. And they were creating chaos and fighting all the time, hooligans and shit like this. So I was in war zones with colleagues, even with guys that are at the age of 55 that I consider that 100% brother. One of my best friends, his name is Bert, is typical Dutch name. But if you look at him, you would maybe underestimate him because he has a, normal posture, a little bit of a belly, but he has a mindset of a lion. Wow. So I understood very quick that guys like this, I need it, because when we're literally back to back fighting against 10, 15 fucking shaved heads that want to make a dent in your forehead, right? And now you see the big buff dudes walking away, hiding, like the bodybuild types, and then where the fuck are my colleagues now? So you recognize your brothers, right?
Yeah.
So I have one specific security job that I still do with him because I trust him with my life, and we did crazy stuff. So it was really, we had moments, man. It was incredible. And then you yourself, how did we survive this? And that's typical in chaos moments, that you recognize the people that you need in your life, right?
Yeah.
What was the question, by the way?
The question was the risks of this job.
Yeah. So the risks are big in the sense of if you don't have good protection of the back. So one guy specifically was a professional MMA fighter, was one of my colleagues. So he was semi-professional, I have to say, because he was still working in security.
Yeah.
And he was also a warrior. He understood the difference between math and realism, right? And when we looked at each other and we beat these motherfuckers up like big guys, and we look at each other after the event, and then we give each other a fist bump, and he says, "Oos." Now that's another brother, His name is Billy Echter, very good MMA fighter, but also a humble dude. So you always recognize the humble people. The blah blah blah, I don't mind. The blah 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 is hiding in the toilet, but the people that, what are the risks? The risks are there, of course, but if you have a good team of people, that makes the difference. But that said, it's a dying breed, right? Mm-hmm. So more and more in the security, the old school generation, because I was taught by old school bouncers, old school people in the age of plus that were teaching me the trade, and also that sometimes you can talk what you want, but somebody needs a proper slap. And I work like this. But now more and more you see the cowboys and the acting cool, and they want to show their ego, and then it's creating chaos. I'm not about that. I really try to avoid. I worked 5 years with a bully on the door. He was thinking he was special because he was 2 meters. I could not work with him until the point that I called the company and said, if you do not remove me tonight, I will knock him out cold. And then finally they understood. And then I stopped working the door, because this guy had no idea that you need to teach or treat the people with respect, man. You need to be a doorman. You have to be a gentleman. You have to be quick. You have to be smart, and if if there's a physical altercation needed, then you do it quick and efficient. Yes. Don't show your ego. Don't do this in and out clinically. Right. And it's a profession that a lot of people don't understand anymore. So that's why I get more and more away from that. The fact that I need to work with old guys now shows me that it shows enough, right? It's a dying breed. So I try to get this combatives part to get me out of security full time one day. Not that I'm sick of the security, but I'm sick of the people in security.
Do you have a family, if you don't mind me asking? Like, do you have children or anything, or?
I don't have children. I never pick up unknown numbers, so I don't know. No, I don't. I don't have children. I have a dog. There's a boy in my life from the age of 10. So we take care of him. So that's a good guy. No, I don't have children myself.
No, it's okay. Just curious.
I'm not planning to.
Yeah, that's fine.
I want to practice though. I want to keep on practicing.
Practicing is good, man. You got to keep the machines working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But so we're about to close soon. So I just wanted to just do like a little get to know you better as a person. So what does your average day look like, and what do you do for fun to unwind?
I try to train. Training is my fun time, and next to that, I just love being at home with my lady next to me, you know, just
Yeah.
go for dinner. But
Yeah.
actually, the training itself, that's what I'm missing. I was recently, like I said before, I was with Lee in the summer, and then he was telling me what to do, hit the pad this and hit the pad that, and I was doing
Yeah.
that. And then halfway the training, he said, Michiel, can you teach this, this, and this? And I was like, oh no, let me
I
train.
want to train. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
at one point, as an instructor, you're only teaching, and that's
Yeah.
the
It's
frustration I have.
imbalanced.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's why I'm seeking for this or wrestling, MMA. I don't mind what it is, but just tell me what to do. I do not want to teach. I know how to teach, but fine, let me do the things. You
Yeah.
know,
I want to
but
train. Yeah.
that's yeah. But I had a problem last 3 years. I'm really struggling with pain. I cannot sit without pain anymore. So I
Mm.
found this great massage therapist that is fixing my problems now. Upcoming Monday, I get an injection because I
Mm.
have problem with my core. They probably found that some nerve was pinched or something. So when that is solved, and it needs a couple of weeks of recovery, when that's solved, and hopefully I can be without pain, then I can pick up all my old training again. So I think I'm in pretty much in shape, but I want to have the condition of my lifetime. You know, I want to have the wrestle shape type of conditioning. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
this is fixed, I will take up my kettlebell training, run, sprint training, fight training. I want to do it all. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
finally there is a light in the end of the tunnel. If you look at pain, because this combatives lifestyle is hurting me. It is really, you pay the price for that. It's incredible impactive on my body. So I want to be smart. If I look at Lee, for example, he has a replaced hip, his shoulder gives problems. I don't want to end
Right.
up,
Right. Right.
you know, so I want to be more intelligent in the, not that he's not intelligent, but for me, I want to preserve my body. You only have one, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah,
Cool,
the
man.
training, and I love martial training, martial arts. It's all, but also just to eat. Eat is my hobby.
Yeah.
Eating.
Yeah. 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 What's your what's your go-to so let's see, what's your go-to meals and what's your go-to like dirty desserts? Yeah.
Yeah, meat. I love meat, right? Because
Yeah.
sushi also I can eat. Because in the Netherlands, I don't know if it's a thing in Europe also, but in the Netherlands they have the specific. We call this all-inclusive sushi, right? You pay
Right.
one
Right.
price.
Right. Yeah, they have that here. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
okay,
keep
okay.
going.
Yeah, yeah. And I keep going. Trust me.
You
To the
put it
point
out
that
of business.
yeah, yeah. I bring different people. You know, if they come to train with me, because some people
Yeah.
they come from France for private training. Some people come from Australia to private
Yeah.
training. USA
Yeah.
from really I respect that so much. But then I take them for dinner, and they say, even the French people recently said, like, we still talk about that dinner. It was incredible how much food there was on the table, you know. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And dessert, yeah. Well, how much dessert do I
Do
eat?
you like
Yeah,
chocolate? Do you like chocolate?
I love it. Yeah, but I
Yeah. Yeah.
try to get away from it. You know, it
Yeah.
makes me
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh,
fuck it. But
okay.
I don't buy it, otherwise I eat it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't? Who doesn't love chocolate? And I
That's
need
right.
chocolate in my life because I live with my lady, and once a month I throw the chocolate and I keep distance, right? Self-preservation.
That's right. That's cool, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go because I know you gotta go to work. But
Oh,
listen, brother, it's been a blast. I'm so glad that we got together.
yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Guys,
Well,
if you guys haven't followed this man, please follow Michiel Mulder, Urban Combatives Netherlands on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Book some training with him. He's all over the world now. And bro, I gotta come and train with you, man. I gotta come
should.
and yeah, I
You
will.
should.
I on your website, do you have a schedule of where you're gonna be and stuff?
I need to update that. Yeah, I need
Okay.
to update the schedule. Yeah, so a lot of seminars coming. My
Yeah.
next progression, I want to go to the USA or Canada one day, and we'll see what that's what happening. You know, I need we need to set that up. We need to make it happen one day. Maybe we can do a
Yeah.
collab or something. It's cool. We kind of reach that people too. You know, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can help you come into Canada if you want,
Awesome,
you
awesome.
know. But yeah, man. Before we go, do you have any advice or closing remarks for the world? Or anything you'd like to promote?
Oh, also people like you, right? The students need to understand how lucky they are with people like you, open-minded.
Appreciate
You
that.
know, always willing to invest time and money in their training to give them the best. I try to do the same. Walk away from the instructors that are ego-based, that want to keep you there, are afraid that they lose you. You know, a good trainer in my martial art time, for example, was when I was Thai boxing, for example, was doing competition too. Then they always encourage that to train with different schools. You know, you get beat up there, you get beat up there, you had sparring session there, and that makes you grow, right? So the students that train with guys like you, that have their ego in check and have a wealth of knowledge, right? Because all the years of training, they should be thankful they could train with you, you know, and then it's this honest relationship going between the instructor and the student, you know. What I also like about my students is once in a while they give me feedback, yeah, but why are we not doing this, and this? And then I say, oh, fuck yeah, good idea, man, thanks. But really listen to them. Don't think you're anything special. I don't have to tell you, but in general, for the students of self-protection, if people invite other other instructors for seminars, if their instructors are cross-trained, cherish them. That's what I want to say, you know, really be thankful you have a guy like this that takes you under his wing and is thinking about you instead of his ego, you know. That's the major thing, that it's not difficult. Oh, it's difficult to find, but it's not difficult to spot. I see there's a small select few that are doing that, you know. Just keep an open mind and be always a student, sometimes a teacher mentality. If your instructor has this, he's gold.
Growth mindset, man.
Yes,
you know?
always.
Yep. But that's amazing advice. Thank you.